Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Shuklam Varadaram Vishnum Shashivaranam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarvavighnopashantaye Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Gurave Sarva Lokanam Vishaje Bhavaroginam Nitaye Sarva Vidyanam Shri Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Pada Shankaram Loka Shankaram Apara Karuna Sindhum Jnanadam Shantarupinam Shri Chandrasekhara Gurum Pranamami Mudanvaham Parityajya Maunam Vatadhastitincha Vrajan Bharatasya Pradeshat Pradesham Madhusyandi Vacha Janan Dharma Marge Nayan Shri Jayendro Gurur Bhati Chitte Namama Shankaran Vakya Vijayendra Saraswati Shri Gurum Sishtamarganu Netaram Sanmati Pradam Om Sadguru Charanaravindaabhyan Namaha Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. So welcome to this session of Auspicious Days in Sanatana Dharma. In this session, we are going to focus on a very important auspicious day that people should follow. People should follow it properly as well. This day is very, very important for all the followers of Sanatana Dharma. Even though this day is followed by some people, but the palan is for everybody. Even though this day is followed by some people, there are some prerequisites in order to follow this function. But the palan, it is going to be enjoyed by everybody, not only Sanatana Dharmis, but everybody who is present in this world. Why? Because Shastra says, Vedas themselves says, the papam that is committed by a family, the papam that is committed by a family, the papam goes to the head of that household, to that grihastha. The head of the household will take up all the papams that is committed by the family. Then the papams of all the families, the papams of all the families in a nation, that goes to the king of that country. The papams of everybody in the kingdom, it goes to the king of that country. The papam that is committed by the king, it goes to the brahmanas in that country. The brahmanas, they take up all the papam that is committed by the king, because the brahmanas who have undergone Vedadhyanam, they are supposed to direct the king in the right way. And if they don't do their job, then the papam automatically goes to the brahmanas. Now, where does the papam go from brahmanas? Because brahmana, they got their brahmanatvam because of their Vedadhyanam, right? So the papam, it finally goes to Vedas. The papams that is committed by brahmanas, it goes to Vedas. And Vedas say, okay, where else will the papam go? The buck stops here. That they say that one of the United States president, he apparently had a plank on his desk. It says the buck stops here, because he is responsible for all the actions that is happening in the country. In the same way, the buck, the papam buck, it stops with the Vedas. And Vedas say, hey Brahmana, you do Vedadhyanam daily. You chant Vedas daily. By mere chanting of Vedas, the papam that you commit will go away. Because Brahmana, they don't only carry the papam that they do, but they carry the papam of the entire nation. And all the papam goes away when a Brahmana chants the Vedas. When a Brahmana does Vedadhyanam, everybody else's papams goes away. Not only the papam of the Brahmana goes away, but everybody in the country, all of their papam goes away. If one Brahmana, even if one Brahmana chants Vedas, Nallor Uluvar Ularel, அவர் பொருட்டு எல்லாருக்கும் பெய்யும் மழை, says Thiruvalluvar. Even if there is one person, he will do good. That is why in those days they say மாதம் மும்மாரி பொழிவது. There has to be 3 rains in a month. It says the first rain is for the women in that country. பத்தினி பெண்களுக்கு ஒரு மழை. The next rain is for the king in that country. நாடாளும் அரசனுக்கு ஒரு மழை. The third rain is for the Brahmanas in the country. மறையோதும் மந்தனர் குருமழை. ஏன்னா இவா 3 பேர்னால்தான் பாபங்கள் எல்லாருக்கும் போர்தான். So the Vedadhyayanam, because of Vedadhyayanam, not only the papam of individual goes away, but the papam of entire country goes away. And this ritual, Avani Avattam or Upakarma is the actual name. Shravanam or Upakarma, it is closely related to Vedadhyayanam. Normally, we think Upakarma is changing of Punal. We have a sacred thread, Yajñopavitam. Yajñopavitata Matikiradu, that is called as Upakarma. This is the common notion among the people, but it is not so, because Shastra says you have to change your Yajñopavitam once in a while. According to Shastra, whether we follow it here, there are people who follow this, but if everybody follows that or not is completely different topic. But Shastra says, even when you shave, even when you have haircut and when you shave, you have to change your Yajñopavita. Every month. We are not supposed to shave daily. We are not supposed to have haircut daily. Shaving and haircut, it comes under only one thing. So shaving is different, haircut is different. It is not like that. Shaving and haircut both are called as Kshawaram. And when we do Kshawaram, after Kshawaram is done, we have to change our Yajñopavitam, says Shastra. And whenever we come out of any Sutakam, na, இப்போ இத பொறப்பு தீட்டு இறப்பு தீட்டு அப்படின்லாம் இருக்கு இல்லையா, அந்த மாதிரி ஆசௌச்ச காலத்துல ஆசௌச்சம் போனதுக்கு அப்புறம், ஆஃப்டர் தி சூத்தகம், ஆஃப்டர் தி ஆசௌச்சம் கோஸ் அவே, you have to change your Upavitam. So the changing of Upavitam, if we see, it is a very regular process. It should happen once in a month. About once in a month, people have to change their Upavitam. People have to change their Punal. Then what is so special about Upakarma? So changing Punal, it is just one part of the whole process. Changing Upavitam, it is just one part of the whole process. And Upakarma, we say Upakarma. When I say Upakarma, we also combine Gayatri Japam. So Madal Naal Avani Avattam, second day Gayatri Japam, right? If we analyze the Sankalpam, if we analyze what we do on those 2 days, there are 3 different processes. There are 3 different karmas that happen over these 2 days. Avani Avattam அப்படின்னா ஆவணி ஆவட்டம் காயத்ரி ஜபத்தை சேர்த்து 3 கர்மா நம்ம பண்றோம். There are 2 பிராயஷ்சித்த கர்மா and there is 1 actual karma. This is what happens. 2 prayashchittam. Prayashchittam, we all know. What is prayashchittam? We have committed something which we should not have committed. Omission. We have to do something, we did not do that. That is called as mistake of omission. And we should not have done something and we do that. That is called as mistake by commission. So omission and commission, if we do, செய்யக்கூடாதவற்றை செய்தலும் செய்ய வேண்டியதை செய்யாமல் இருப்பதும், இது ரெண்டுக்கும் பிராயஷ்சித்தம் வீடு. பிராயஷ்சித்தம் in order to carry out atonement அப்படிங்கிறோம். And then there is 1 actual karma that is called as Vedarambam. So these 3 karmas we do on those 2 days. Avaniyavattam and Gayatri Japam. Upakarma, Shravanam. We call it as Avaniyavattam, but it should be called either as Shravanam or as Upakarma. So we do these three karmas over 2 days. Okay, what is the prayaschittam? Why should we do prayaschittam? How to do upakarma properly? Whether we follow, whether we can follow this today or not, that is entirely a different issue. What we are going to see is how to follow this properly. If we can, we will try to follow this as specified in Shastra. If we cannot, it is not a problem. We will at least know that, okay, this is how it should be done. Now I cannot follow this in the prescribed way, but one day, hey Mahaperiyava or Bhagavan, please give me sankalpam and strength to follow this in the right way. Abdin nama pray paninde we can do. So, according to Shastra, so as I said before, it is the duty of Brahmana. So Shastra says, Nishkaranena, Brahmanas should do Vedadhyayanam without expecting anything in return. Shadango Nishkaranena abingra. Karaname illamal Vedadhyayanam paranam. For a Brahmana, for those people who have undergone the Upanayana Samskara. And even that Vedadhyayanam, it can only be done in a certain time period. Nowadays, we go to Veda classes daily. Even including myself, everybody goes to Veda classes daily. Who wants to learn Vedas, they go to Veda classes daily. But according to Shastra, the Vedadhyayanam, it should start on the Avaniyavattam day. It should start on the Upakarma day. Vedarambam, we will do a karma. And then it should stop. We should stop learning Vedas on the Paurnami day of the Thai month. Thai, the Thai Pongal, abdina solrolya, Magara Sankaranti, Thai Masam abdingrolya. And the Thai Masathula, Paurnami anniyoda, we should stop learning Vedas. So we start learning Vedas on Avaniyavattam, the Paurnami day of the Shravana month. And we should end learning Vedas on the Paurnami day of the Thai month, Taishya Masam abdin per. So only these 5 months we can chant Vedas. And remaining 6 plus 1, 7 months, it is called as Anadhyayana Kalam. We should not learn anything new, but we can only revise what we have already learned. That is what Shastra says. And when we do Punal, when we do the first Punal, Upanayana Samskarathum bodhu, idallam pandren abdinu, we have promised in front of Veda, in front of Agni, we have promised that, okay, I will do Vedadhyayanam at the proper time. We have promised. But what we do, because of our inability, because 5 months in a year, it is very, very small to learn Vedas. Oru shakhaya mudikanunna kuda, if we go to Padasala full time, it takes about 8 years, 8 to 12 years it takes to complete one shaka. So it is not practically possible. In those days, people had a lot of Medha Shakti. In those previous yugas, they had Medha Shakti, so they could do this. But in this Kali Yuga, we don't have Medha Shakti, right? So what we don't do is we don't stop the Vedadhyayanam on the Paurnami day of the month of Thai. So the first karma in Upakarma that we do, it is called as Kamokarashit Japam. The first karma in Upakarma that we do is called as Kamokarashit Japam. The Kamokarashit Japam, it is a prayaschittam for not doing Adhyayana Utsarjanam on the Thai Paurnami day. So in Upakarma, this is how we should do during Upakarma day. We should wake up early in the day. Before sunrise, we should wake up. We should do Pratasnanam. We should do Pratas Sandhya Vandanam. So Pratasnanam, Pratas Sandhya we should do. And for Brahmacharis, they have to do their Samitadhanam. Samitadhanam, it has to be done daily. It has to be also done on Upakarma day. For Grihasthas, they should do their Agni Karya. They should do their Upasanam early in the morning. So Pratasnanam, Pratas Sandhya, and whatever daily we do, including Samitadhanam or Upasanam, we do early in the morning. And then we do Kamokarashit Japam. So why we do Kamokarashit Japam? We do Kamokarashit Japam because we have not done adhyaya utsarjana karma. So the karma of stopping, temporarily stopping Vedadhyanam on the Paurnami day of the month of Tai, it is called as Adhyayana Utsarjana Karma, Adhyayotsarjana Karma. So we don't do that. That is why we do this Kamokarshit mantra japam as a prayaschittam. How do we know? Because it comes in the Sankalpa. Amopata samasta durutakshaya dvara parameshwara prityartam. We do all the deshakala sankirtanam etc. Shubhaditau paurnamyam shubhaditau taishyam paurnamasyam adhyayotsarjana akarana prayaschittartam ashtottara sahasra sankhya காமோகாரஷீத் மன்யுரகாரஷீத் இது மகாமந்திர ஜபம் கரிஷ்யே. இந்த ஜபம் தான் பண்ணிட்டு நம்ம காமோகாரஷீத் பண்ணணும். But what happens in these days is that people, they skip this kamokarshit japa, because when we go do, because this has to be done in between prata sandhya and madhyanika. After kamokarshit japam, you have to do madhyanika snanam if possible, and then you have to do madhyanika sandhya vandanam, and then do brahma yajnam, and then only mahasankalpam comes. So by the time we go to batch of podra, there is only 1 hour. Within 1 hour, the Vadyar would not have time to do Kamokarshit Japam and then Madhyanikam, and then you have to take a break for Madhyanikam, and then you have to take a break for Brahma Yajnam, and then Mahasankalpam, and then following the rest of the thing, you won't have time. So what people normally do is they will either skip this Kamokarshit Japam altogether, or they will only do Ashtotra Shatasankhya. 108 times they will do this Kamokarshit Japam. But Shastra says, according to Shastra, we have to do Ashtotra Sahasra Sankhya Kamokarshit Japam. That is how we have to do, according to Shastra. Why Kamokarshit Japam? And even in this Kamokarshit Japam, the rishis with so much karunai, they have even shortened the mantra. The actual Kamokarshit mantra, it comes in Mahanarayana Upanishad, in Taittiriya Upanishad. कामोकारशी नमो नमः कामोकारशीत कामः करोति नाहं करोमि कामः कर्ता नाहं कर्ता कामः कारयिता नाहं कारयिता येषते कामकामाय स्वाहा मन्युरकारशी नमो नमः मन्युरकारशीन् मन्युः करोति नाहं करोमि मन्युः कर्ता नाहं कर्ता मन्युः कारयिता नाहं कारयिता येषते मन्यो मन्यवे स्वाहा. This is the actual mantra. And if we chant this 1008 times, it is going to take forever. So Rishi said, okay, even if you don't chant the entire mantras, just to do Kamokarashit, Manyurakarashit, Kamokarashit, Manyurakarashit, Kamokarashit, Manyurakarashit. This is one sampradayam. Another sampradayam will say Kamokarashit, Manyurakarashit, Namo Namaha, Kamokarashit, Manyurakarashin, Namo Namaha, Kamokarashin, Manyurakarashin, Namo Namaha. You can add Namo Namaha, and then you can do Kamokarshit mantra japam. Believe me, it doesn't take more than half an hour. Even if you do Ashtotra Sahasra Sankhya, it doesn't take more than half an hour. But the phalam of doing Kamokarshit and Manyurakarshit japam is enormous. Because Kamokarshit japam can remove any papam. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Kamayesha Krodayesha Rajoguna Samudbhavaha Mahashano Mahapapma Vidyenam Iha Vairinam Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsaha Sangasteshu Pajayate Sangat Sanjayate Kamaha Kamat Krodo Bhijayate Krodad Bhavati Sammohaha Sammohat Smriti Vibramaha Smriti Bramshat Buddhinashaha Buddhinashat Pranashyasi. So Kamam and Krodham, they are the reasons for any papam that you commit. But in Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Kamayesha Krodayesha Rajoguna Samudbhavaha Maha Ashanaha. It eats away all of your punyam. Maha Papma, it is the cause of all the papam. Vidyenam iha vairinam, says Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Hey Arjuna, know these two people to be your greatest enemies. So what we should do while chanting Kamokarashit Japam is that, hey, I have committed a mistake, but it is not committed by me. I have committed it because of Kama and Krodha. Kamak karoti, Kamam did everything. Naham karomi, I did not do anything. Kamakarta, Nahankarayita, Yeshate Kamakama Yasvaha. Again, Manyurakarashin Namo Namaha, Manyurakarashin Manyuk Karoti, Naham Karomi, Manyuk Karta, Naham Karta, Manyuk Karita, Naham Karita, Yeshate Manyu Manyave Swaha. I did not do anything. It is all the mistakes have been committed because of Kamam. Manyu means Kopam, Krodha. Manyu means Krodha. So all the papams have been committed by either Kamam and Krodham. I did not do any papam. So we do Kartrutva Tyagam, and because of that, we get rid of the sin. That is not doing Adhyayana Utsarjana, Adhyayotsarjana Karma. Taishyam Paurnamasyayam Adhyayotsarjana Akarana Prayaschittartham. We do that Prayaschittam. So that is a very, very important thing that should be done with ultimate concentration on Upakarma day. In fact, we chant this Kamo Karshit, Manyura Karshit, Namo Namaha in Sandhya Vandanam as well. Even in Sandhya Vandanam, we have to chant this Kamo Karashi in Namo Namaha, Manyura Karashi in Namo Namaha, or depending upon your Sampradaya, some people will either chant the whole mantra, some people will chant Kamo Karashit, Manyura Karashi, Namo Namaha in their Sandhya Vandanam daily 3 times a day, because we lose our Kartrutvam by doing this. So that is the first important step in the Upakarma process, and that has to be done after your Pratha Sandhya Vandanam. If you are a Brahmachari, you have to do Samhita Danam. That at least people do these nowadays. But if you are a Grihastha, you are supposed to do your Upasana Karma as well. And two things here. For Prathama Shravana, people who have undergone Upanayanam in the previous year, and if this is their first Shravanam, if this is their first Avaniavatam, Tala Avaniavatam Abdimba, they need not do Kamokarashit Japam. They should not do Kamokarashit Japam because they have not started their Vedarambam itself, right? So they don't have this Papam of Adhyayotsarjana, Akarana Prayastitam, they don't have to do. Point number 1. Point number 2, before doing Kamokarashit Japam, all the Brahmacharis, they have to undergo Ksavaram that day. Grihasthas should not shave, Grihasthas should not do haircut on that day because it is Paurnami. We are not supposed to do that. But Brahmacharis, they can do haircut and Ksavaram on that day. In fact, they have to do haircut or Ksavaram. In our, நாங்கெல்லாம் சின்ன வயசுல இருக்கப்ப சும்மா சாஸ்திரத்துக்கு சும்மா 2 முடியாவது வெட்டிண்டு குளிச்சுட்டு காமோகார்ஷி ஜம் பண்றது அப்படின்னு வச்சுருப்போம். So that these are all 2 practical things that we have to make sure that we do. The next thing is we have to do Madhyanika. So people who are very, very sishtas, they do another snana, Pratha snana mudichitu. Even every day before Madhyanikam, Shastra says you have to do a Madhyanika snanam. So Madhyanika snanam na nanna sankalpallam panni, sukta padanallam panni, Madhyanika snanam one has to do. So if we can do Madhyanika snanam. If not, we can do just Madhyanikam. So Madhyanikam is very, very important on Avaniyavattam day. Even though nowadays we do Avaniyavattam early in the morning, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, we finish everything before 8 o'clock, we have to go to office. Even that time, it is better if we do Madhyanikam. Even though you are not doing it at proper time, it is okay, at least we are doing it. And people who are working from home, because these days everybody is working from home, people who are working from home, it is better if you do Madhyanikam, like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, you do Madhyanikam, and then after 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, if we do the remaining of the process, it would be, that is the right way to do. And it is up to us, depending upon our convenience, depending upon what we do. Either you have to go to work or you are working from home, we can do anything that we want. But Madhyanikam is important that day. You have to do Madhyanikam. And after that, you have to do Brahma Yajnam. Again, this Brahma Yajnam, it is a Nitya Karma. Brahma Yajnam, it is a Nitya Karma. People have to do Brahma Yajnam daily. Mahaperiyava says in Daivathin Kural, Vyasacharya, he has to be worshipped by everybody. இப்பதான் வியாச பூஜை வேற முடிஞ்சிருக்கு இல்லையா? And Mahaperiyava says, at least for grihasthas, they do Vyasacharya's puja by doing tarpanam for Vyasacharya daily. But for sannyasis, we don't do Brahma Yajnam, so we do Vyasa Puja. அப்படின்ல Mahaperiyava Daivathin Kurala இப்படியே சொல்லியிருக்கா. And this Brahma Yajnam, it is one of the Panchamaha Yajnams that everybody has to do. Panchamaha Yajnam இருக்கு. Deva Yajnam, Rishi Yajnam, Pitru Yajnam, Brahma Yajnam, Bhuta Yajnam அப்படின்னு பஞ்சமகா யஜ்ஞங்கள் இருக்கு. அதுல இந்த பிரம்ம யஜ்ஞம். So பிரம்ம யஜ்ஞம்னு சொன்னாலும் it is composed of Brahma Yajnam and Rishi Yajnam as well. Because what we do in Brahma Yajnam is that we do Veda Adhyanam. Brahma Yajnam is nothing but chanting Vedas. So first what we do is we chant the Vedas. And the Gayatri, how the Gayatri has been told to you during the Upanayana karma. During the Upanayana samskara, the Gayatri will not be taught to you the way that we chant during Sandhya Vandana. Om Bhurbhuva Savaha Tatsavituhu. The Gayatri will not be taught in that way. The Gayatri will be taught in a different way. Same mantra, but it will be Om Bhuhu and then first Vakyam. Om Bhuvaha, second Vakyam. Om Suvaha, third Vakyam. Om Bhuhu, first Vakyam, second Vakyam. Om Bhuvaha, third Vakyam. Om Bhurbhuva Suvaha, and then all the three Vakyams. So this is how the Gayatri will be taught to you during the Upanayanam. So you have to chant Gayatri in that way, and then we chant the Veda Adi, Agnimi Le Purohitam, and then Om Ishe Dvorje Tvavayavastaha, and then Agna Ayahi Vitaye, and then Shanno Devi Rabhishtaya. So all the four Veda Adis. So these are the four starting part of the Samhita portion of the four Vedas. So we have to chant this Veda Adi, Vedadayaha, and then you have to chant daily. You are supposed to chant at least one prashna from your own shaka. Shaka, whatever Vedas that you have learned, you have to chant it daily. Only by doing Brahma Yajnam, all the papam goes away, says Shastra. So Brahma Yajnam, it is a daily process. It is a Nitya Karma. Everybody have to do daily. So that is one part of Brahma Yajnam. And then we do Deva Rishi Pitru Tarpanam. Deva Rishi Pitru Tarpanam. So for Deva Tarpanam, you have to give argyam like this. Deva Tarpanam, Brahmadayo Devaha Tan Devagastarpayami, Sarvan Devagastarpayami, Sarvadeva Ganagastarpayami, Sarvadeva Patni Starpayami, Sarvadeva Ganapatni Starpayami. So the procedure that I am saying here is for Apastamba Sutra. For Bodhayana Sutra, their Rishi Tarpanam is very big. So whatever we are seeing here is for Yajurveda Apastamba Sutra procedure. And then you have to do Nivitiya Punala Potunda. You have to do Rishi Tarpanam. Krishna Dvaipayanadayo Ye Rishayastan Rishigastarpayam. So Rishi Tarpanam has to come like this. Rishigastarpayami, Sarvan Rishigastarpayami, Sarvarishi Ganagastarpayami, Sarvarishi Patni Starpayami, Sarvarishi Ganapatni Starpayami. And then you have to do all the Kanda Rishi Tarpanam, etc. And then you have to do Brahmanam Swayambhuvam Tarpayami. For Brahmanam Swayambhuvam, the Argya has to go like this. Brahmanam Swayambhuvam Tarpayami. So that we have to do Rishi Tarpanam. And then we have to do Pitru Tarpanam. So this Pitru Tarpanam, everybody can do, everybody have to do. Not only, so people think that, okay, Pitruna only appa illadavada idu pannanumgradhu kadayadu. Everybody, they have to do this Pitru Tarpanam. So the Pitru Tarpanam, again, it has to be done like this. So Pitru Tarpanam, but this Pitru is different from the Pitrus that we do Tarpanam for during Amavasya and all the Shraddha day. So everybody has to do Pitru Tarpanam. People have to do Prachina Viti. If you don't want to do Prachina Viti, people say that, okay, so Punala Malaya potundu, the left hand abdi ullabdi uttundu Prachina Vidya potundam pannadum. But if people think that, okay, Prachina Vidya abdinu yosichanna ipdi pannikalam abdinu, there is a Samayachara. Ishtacharam irke odiya, everybody, they have to do this Pitru Tarpanam. So Brahma Yajnam, it is a part of Nitya Karma after Madhyanikam. We are supposed to do daily. But at least during Avaniyavattam day, let us try to do this Brahma Yajnam. So Prata Snanam okay, Prata Sandhya okay, Kamokarshit Japam done, Madhyanika Snanam, Madhyanikam over, Brahma Yajnam over. Only after this we have to do Mahasankalpam. So this Mahasankalpam, takes a long time. We do, very, very elaborate Desha Kala Sankirtanam we do. And why we do Mahasankalpam? What are we supposed to do during Mahasankalpam? So here we say, Anadya Vidya Vasanaya Pravartamane Asmin Mahati Samsara Chakre Vichitrabihi Karmagatibihi Vichitrasu Yonishu Punah Punaha Aneghata Janitva Kenapi Punya Karma Viseshena Idanin Tanamanusha Dvija Janma Visesham Praptavataha. I got this Dvija Janma. Dvija means I have undergone the Upanayanam process. So I have born a lot of time in this Samsara Chakra. I have done Punah Punaha Anegata Janitva. Vichitrasu Yonishu Punah Punaha Anekadha Janitva. I have, Pullai Pudai, அப்படின்னு சொல்றார் இல்லையா, பல்மிருகமாய் பறவையாய் பாம்பாகி எல்லா பிறப்பும் பிறந்திழைத்தேன் அப்படின்னு சொல்றார் இல்லையா. அந்த மாதிரி we have born in several yonis, we have born as several animals, several plants, insects, etc. by kenapi karma punya karma viseshena, by some punya karma visesha. Now I am born as a dvija. Dvija means people who have born twice born அப்படின்னு அர்த்தம். Dvi means two. Ja, to be born. People who are twice born. What is twice born? The first birth is from your mother. The second birth is after doing Upanayana Samskara. So, Dvijas, people who have undergone Upanayana Samskara, it is not only for Brahmanas, it is Brahma, Kshatra, Vaishyas. All these three people are Dvijas. So, I have got, so this Upakarma is also for all the three people, not only for Brahmanas. So, I have done this. I have gotten birth in this Dvija, in this Dvija Janma, in this Dvija body. So while I am in this Dvija body, Mama Janmabhyasat Janma Prabriti Etatchana Paryantam Balye Vayasi Kaumare Yavane Vardhakecha. When we are young, when we are born as a baby. And then Yavane, when we are in youth form. Yavane, Vardhake, when I am in the old, people who do Upakarma, even 80-year-old person, he does Upakarma, right? So he'll say, I have been committing papam in all my phases of life. Jagrata, Swapna, Sushupti Avastasu. I have done papam in all my three avastas. Jagrata Avastha, when I wake up, in my dream, in my deep sleep. Jagrata, Swapna, Sushupti Avastasu. How do I do papam with? What do I do papam with? Manovakayaha karmendriya jnanendriya vyaparaischa sambhavitanam. So I do papam with mano, vak and kaya. These three karana. Karmendriya jnanendriya. Because of my karmendriya and jnanendriya, I do papa. I do papa how? Rahasya kritanam, prakasha kritanam. Rahasya Kritanam. I think I have done this papam, only I know this. But Bhagavan knows that. Prakasha Kritanam. Papam that is done in presence of with everybody's knowledge. Rahasya Kritanam, Prakasha Kritanam. Brahma Hanana, Surapana, Swarnasteya, Gurudara Gamana, Tat Samsargakyanam, Mahapatakanam. These five are called as Mahapatakam. Brahma Hananam, Brahmahati dosham, Surapanam, drinking things which we are not supposed to drink. Swarnasteya, stealing money from others, stealing gold from others. Gurudara Gamanam and Tat Samsargakyanam. Samsarga dosham abdina, people who have done these four, even if I associate myself with these four people, that is also said to be a Mahapapa. So Mahapatakanam. Mahapadaka Anumantruvadinam Atipadakanam Somayagasta Kshatriya Vaishya Vadadinam Samapadakanam Govadatinam Upapadakanam, Marjaravadatinam, Sangalikarananam, Krimikitavadadinanam, Malinikarananam. All the papam that we do, even when you kill a very, very small insect, we kill insect because it comes to our house. So we kill them. But even that is going to accrue some papam. So all the papam that you can ever think of, Jati Bhramshakaranam, Vihita Karma Tyagadinanam. We are supposed to do Sandhya Vandanam, that is a Vihita Karma. But how many of us, including myself, do Sandhya Vandanam daily 3 times a day? We cannot tell. We will miss Sandhya Vandanam 1 day or 2 days, or sometimes months together we will miss. So Vihita Karma Tyagadinanam, Prakirnakanam, Jnanataha Sakritkritanam, Ajnanataha Asakritkritanam. So all the papam, Navanam Navavidhanam, Bahunam Bahuvidhanam, Sarvesham Papana, whatever papam that I have done in this 1 year, Sarvesham Papanam, Sadhyaha Apanodanartham. So Sadhyaha means immediately. When I do, after I do the Sankalpa, after I do Vedadhyanam, immediately the papam should go away. That is the Sankalpam that we do. So see with how much Karuna the Rishis have devised this. We do papam day and night, left and right, daily. But if we do this Upakarma procedure properly, we have to underline that properly, all the papams will go away. So this is the Prayaschittam that I talked about. So Kamokarshit Japam is one Prayaschittam. This is another Prayaschittam. So everything, Sadhyaha Apanodanartham. And then you say Bhaskara Kshetre or whatever Kshetre, I do Paurnamasyam Adhyayopakarma Karma Karishye. Adhyayopakarma Karishye. I start to learn Vedas on this Paurnami day. Even when you start learning Vedas, all the papam goes away. Tadangam Mahanadi Snanamaham Karishye. This is the thing that we normally skip. We are supposed to do a snanam after this sankalpam. So you do this sankalpam, you do a snanam because your papams are going away, right? So you do a snanam that symbolizes going away of your papam, and then after becoming pure, you have to change your upanayanam and then do Vedadhyanam. And then you are supposed to do Vedadhyanam. This is the thing which people normally do not do, even though in the Sankalpam we say Tadangam Snanamaham Malapakarishana Snanamam Karishya, whatever Sankalpa, depending upon Vadyar, there will be small variations here and there. Here he says Sadangam Avagahya Mahanadi Snanamaham Karishye. We will do Sankalpam, but we don't have time to do Snanam because next batch will be waiting. So what does Vadyar do? He will say, okay, do Prokshanam Adikrura Mahakaya Kalpanda Dakhanopama Bhairavaya Namastubhyam Manugyam Datumarhasi Abdin Solito Gange Jayamune Jayava Godavari Saraswati Narmade Sindhu Kaveri Jalesmin Sannitin Guru Apo Ishtamayo Bhuvaha. Depending upon whatever the Vadyar says, we will do some Prokshanam, and then at least what we have to do is do Prokshanam, at least wash your face. Kaikal Alamindu புதுசா விபூதி இட்டுண்டு வந்து உட்காருங்கோ. நன்னா தெரிஞ்ச வாதியாரா இருந்தா அப்படி சொல்லுவா. கை கால் அலம்பிக்குங்கோ, புதுசா விபூதி இட்டுக்கோங்கோ. இட் இஸ் கால்ட் அஸ் பஸ்ம ஸ்நானம். புதுசா விபூதி இட்டுண்டு வந்து உட்காருங்கோ அப்படின்னு வாத்தியார் will tell. If you go to villages, what they will do is that இப்ப நாங்கெல்லாம் காவேரிக்கு போவோம். இதுக்கு காவேரிக்கு போறச்சே சுவாமி தீர்த்தம் கொடுக்க வருவார். திருவையாறுல ஐயார் பஞ்சநதீஸ்வரர் தீர்த்தமே கொடுக்க வருவார் ஆவணி ஆவட்டத்துக்கு. ஸோ அந்த ஸ்நானம் பண்ணிட்டு யூ ஆர் சப்போஸ் டு வெயிட். ஸோ சுவாமி வில் கம் to Kaveri, and then the Swami Tirtham Udgarche, Abde Kaveri or Muruku Potu, Snanam Manito, we will carry on with the next step of Upanayana, Upakarma. So this is something, if you are doing at house, you are not having any Vadyar, if you are doing at house, at least over Skype, we can just wait for some 5 minutes or 10 minutes, just to go take some shower and then have new vibhuti, have new dress, and then we can come and sit for Yajnopavita Dharma. This is very, very good. If we can do, this is very, very auspicious. So we do that snanam. So Mahasankalpam and snanam after Mahasankalpam. So whenever some papam goes, you have to change your yajnopavita. This is what we do. So this yajnopavita dharanam, this is not the sole purpose of Upakarma. Yajnopavita dharanam we do because we have gotten rid of some papam. And whenever some papam gets rid of, whenever some dosham is going away, you have to change your upavitam. அதனால்தான் இப்ப சஷ்டியப்த பூர்த்தி அப்படின்னா காத்தால வாத்தியார் வந்து பூனல் மாத்தி விடுப்பார். சஷ்டியப்த பூர்த்தி அன்னைக்கு காத்தால பூனல் மாத்துவா. கல்யாணத்தன்னைக்கு காத்தால 2 பூனலா போட்டு பூனலை மாத்திப்பா. க்ஷவரம் எல்லாம் பண்ணிண்டா பூனல் மாத்திக்கிறது. தீட்டு போச்சுன்னா பூனல் மாத்திக்கிறது. இப்போ மேல படக்கூடாதவா மேல பட்டுட்டா பூனலை மாத்திக்கிறது. இதெல்லாம் சாஸ்திரம் சொல்றது. ஸோ ஜஸ்ட் லைக் தட் we are doing this yajnopavita dharanam. And why we do yajnopavita dharanam? Shastra says, the Sankalpa says, Adhyayoropakarmani Shrautasmarta Vihita Nityakarmanusthana Sadachara Yogyata Siddhyartham and Brahmatejobi Vridhyartham. We do yajnopavita dharanam for all this. For what? Shrauta, Smarta, Vihita, Nityakarmanusthana Yadachara Yogyata Siddhyartham. I want to be eligible to do the Nityakarma that has been specified by Shruti and Smriti. Shrauta Smarta Vihita Nityakarmanusthana. Our Nityakarmas like Sandhya Vandanam, Samidadanam, Aupasanam, Agnihotram, Brahma Yajnam, Vaishwadevam, all these, Deva Puja, even the puja that we do, Panchayadana Puja, Swami ki Namaskaram பண்றது விளக்கேத்துறதுல இருந்து எல்லாமே நித்தியகர்மானுஷ்டானம், ஸ்ரௌத ஸ்மார்த்த விஹித நித்தியகர்மானுஷ்டானம். So இதெல்லாம் பண்ணணும்னா I need to have some eligibility, and for that I undergo this yajnopavita dharanam. Shrauta smarta vihita nityakarmanusthana sadachara yogyata siddhyartham and Brahma Tejobhi Vrityartham. Brahma Tejas Valaruma Punal Matinda. Punal Potundi in the Karma Lam Panna Brahma Tejas Valarum. So Brahma Tejobhi Vrityartham Yajnopavita Dharanam Karishye Abdini Yajnopavitatam Matikaram. This is not the central part of Upakarma. This is not the central part of Avaniyavatam. This is just it is a part of the whole process. It is a karmangam. Angam da idu angi kadayadu. And next, we have to do Kanda Rishi Tarpanam. The same Kanda Rishi Tarpanam we have already done during the Brahma Yajnam. Somam Kanda Rishim, Pajapatim Kanda Rishim Tarpayami, Somam Kanda Rishim Tarpayami, Agnin Kanda Rishim Tarpayami. Mari 9 Tarpanam vanum. Nava Tarpanam. There will be 9 Tarpanams. Because of these rishis, we are chanting Vedas. For Yajurveda. For Yajurvedas, these rishis are very, very important. So, நம்ம Yajurveda Taitriya Shaka Apastamba Sutrathukku இந்த மாதிரி Kanda Rishi Tarpanam பண்ணு அப்படின்னு சொல்றா. Even this Kanda Rishi Tarpanam, even people who have father, they can use tila, till sesame seeds. So this has to be done with sesame seeds and akshata. White akshata and sesame seeds we have to use. So people who have father, they will say, okay, no, I don't want to use yellow and all. This is, you don't have to worry. For this Kanda Rishi Tarpanam, everybody can use yellow. Everybody can, even people with the father, without father, everybody else can use yellow for this Tarpanam, for doing this Kanda Rishi Tarpanam. The mantra is same. The mantra is same. Only the Sankalpam will be little bit different. Evam guna viseshena visishtayam asyam shravanyam paurnamasyam adhyayopakarmangam Kanda Rishi Tarpanam karishye. So for Brahma Yajnam yakshe அப்படின்னு சங்கல்பம் பண்ணிட்டு பிரம்ம யஜ்ஞம் பண்ணுவோம். இங்க வந்து அத்யாயோப கர்மாங்கம் Kanda Rishi Tarpanam karishye அப்படின்னு I am doing Kanda Rishi Tarpanam as a part of Vedadhyanam, அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு again same Prajapatim Kanda Rishi Tarpayami, Somam Kanda Rishi Tarpayami. We have to do Tarpanam with this side. We have to flow, water has to flow from the end of the pinky finger, Sundavar. Prajapatim Kanda Rishi Tarpayami, Somam Kanda Rishi Tarpayami, Agnim Kanda Rishi Tarpayami, Vishwan Devan Kanda Rishi Tarpayami, and then Sagum Hitir Devata Upanishadas Tarpayami, Yagikir Devata Upanishadas Tarpayami, Varunir Devata Upanishad Tarpayami. And then again, Brahmanam Swayambhuvam Tarpayami. Abdina Brahma Tirtham, it has to come from this side. Brahmanam Swayambhuvam Tarpayami. Abdina Putunda, Unala Nivitya Potunda, people have to do this Kandarishi Tarpanam. So after this Kandarishi Tarpanam, normally, so at this time, there will be a split. People who do homam, people who don't do homam. People who don't do homam, they will do their Vedarambam. Vedarambamna enna ideda. Agnimi, Ile, Purohitam. Vedarambam, it is the main portion. This is the finale of Upakarma process, because we do everything because we want to do Vedarambam. So this cannot be skipped, and Vedarambam has to be done by a guru. There should be a guru. The guru has to teach you Veda. Vedas cannot be self-taught. So this is why you have to have somebody to perform this Upakarma for you. So it has to be done by a guru. Vedarambam, guru solluvar, Gayatri eல்லாம் சொல்லுவார், அக்னிமி, ஈழே, புரோஹிதம் அதெல்லாம் சொல்லுவார். அதுக்கப்புறம் all the Veda portions. So all the 4 Vedas he will start, and then some Purusha Suktam or something he will teach, and then he will also do all the sutrams and just the first sutram. அதெல்லாம் சொல்லுவார். மாயேஸ்வராணி சூத்திராணி அப்படின்னு ஆயி உன்னு ரெலுக்கு ஏவோங் ஐ அவுச் ஐ அவரட்டு லன். So all these Maheshwara sutras, they will all do this for Vedarambam. This marks the end of Avani Avatam. But for people who do with the homam, and the homam batch அப்படின்னு போட்டிருப்பா, யூஎஸ்ல எல்லாம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா homam batch அப்படின்னு போட்டிருப்பா. So homam batchல இருக்கிறவா, they will do again homam for the same Kanda Rishis. So இதே Kanda Rishiகளுக்கு homama பண்ணி, it will be a very, very small homam. It does not take much time. So they will do homam, and in the presence of that Homa Agni, Vadyar will do Vedarambam. Vadyar will chant Vedas. You have to chant back Vedas 2 times. So you do Vedarambam in the presence of Agni. That is very, very auspicious. If everybody can go for homam batch, this is how it should be done. So do along with homam, and then after the Vedarambam, they will do Jayadi Homam. So Jayadi Homam will be longer than the actual Kanda Rishi Homam. So actual Rishi Homam Jayadi Homam பெருசா இருக்கும். But they will do the Homam, they will do Vedarambam, and then the first day is over. Everybody will go to their house, have your lunch. So this is the first day, Upakarma day. So what do we do on these days? In Upakarma day, we do 3 processes. First is a Prayaschittam for not doing Adhyayot Sarjana on Taishyam Paurnamasyam day. Second, it is a general Prayaschittam to get rid of all the papas. I do Vedarambam. Abdina Sankalpam Pandinde. Third is the actual Vedarambam process. So these 3 things are very, very important on Upakarma day. And another thing, I'm going to tell what is told in Shastras. It is not being followed these days, but this is how it should be done. People should not eat anything before the Upakarma. Only after Vedarambam, they can eat if they want. So before Vedarambam, in those days, people who, because there will be small brahmacharis, he will be very, very hungry. Abnala kartala or idli potte. What we know in these days, it has become that okay, it is Avani Avatam, you have to eat idli. Idli saapalena and more doshangra mari panidwa. Abdila kadeve kadeyadu. Kartala, if you cannot eat anything, well and good. But if you want to eat, you can have idli or upma or kanji, something, some satvika akara, have that and then do Vedarambam. So up until Vedarambam, because we are doing homam, right? So you are not supposed to eat anything. And second thing, generally, actually Shastra says on Upakarma day, you can only eat 7 till seeds. You can only eat the whole day, you have to apparently fast. The only exception is you can eat 7 yell. Why? Because the next day we are doing Gayatri Japam. right? So next day is Gayatri Japam. And again, Gayatri Japam, it is also for a Prayaschitta. Because you are doing a Prayaschitta karma on the next day, the previous day you have to fast, says Shastra. So that is why people ரொம்ப சிஷ்டாலா இருக்கிறவா ஆவணி ஆவட்டத்தன்னைக்கு சாப்பிட மாட்டா. நம்ம ஆவணி ஆவட்டத்தன்னைக்கு போலி பண்ணணும், அப்பம் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு ஒரு ஸ்பெஷல் மெனுவே வச்சு நம்ம சாப்பிட்டு இருக்கோம். பட் ஆக்சுவலி சாஸ்திரா சேஸ் ஃபார் ஆவணி ஆவட்டம் டு நாட் ஈட் எனிதிங். ஸோ சாஸ்திரா சேஸ் 7 எள்ளு சாப்பிடணும் அப்படிங்கிறதான் சாஸ்திரம் சொல்றது. இட் இஸ் அப் டு யூ. இஃப் யூ கேன் ஃபாஸ்ட், யூ கேன் ஃபாஸ்ட். Or if you can decrease your food intake, you can decrease your food intake. Or if you cannot fast, you can have food as much as you want, but only after Vedarambam. Before Vedarambam, try not to eat anything and keep fast. So that is the first day, Avani Avatam day, Upakarma day. The second day is Gayatri Japam. Gayatri Japam has nothing to do with Upakarma. People think, okay, முதல் நாள் பூனலை போட்டுக்கணும், 2ஆம் நாள் காயத்ரி ஜபம் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு நார்மலா நினைச்சுட்டு இருக்கா. பட் காயத்ரி ஜபம், இட் இஸ் a separate process. It is a separate procedure in itself. It is a standalone karma. It is not an anga karma for Upakarma. It is a standalone karma, Gayatri Japam. Why do we do Gayatri Japam? So we will see, the Sankalpam, and we will try to understand why we do Gayatri Japam. And just one quick thing is that for Rigvedis, sometimes Rigvedis people, they do Upakarma one day before the Yajurveda. So they don't do Gayatri Japam on their next day. They will do Gayatri Japam where everybody else does. Even Samavedis, their Avani Avatam is completely different. Their Avani Avatam is when you have Vinayakar Chaturthi. Even them, they have to do Gayatri Japam on the Prathama day. So Gayatri Japam and Avani Avatam, it has got nothing to do with each other. They are two standalone karmas. Because sometimes, some years, it happens that you will be doing both Upakarma and Gayatri Japam on the same day. Some years, I don't think it happens this year, but some years it comes in the Tithiyoda and the Neram, when the Tithi ends, when the Tithi starts. And the Mari இருக்கிற சமயத்துல உபாகர்மாவும் காயத்ரி ஜபமும் ரெண்டும் ஒரே நாள்ல பண்ற மாதிரி வந்துரும். On those years, we have to do Gayatri Japam first, and then we have to undergo Upakarma. So Gayatri Japam has to be done first. பூனலை மாத்திட்டு தான் காயத்ரி ஜபம் பண்ணணும்னா அன்னைக்கு பண்ண முடியாது. அன்னைக்கு ஃபர்ஸ்ட் காயத்ரி ஜபத்தை பண்ணிடுவோம், அதுக்கு அப்புறமா தான் உபாகர்மா நடக்கும். ஸோ காயத்ரி ஜபம், இட் ஹஸ் காட் நத்திங் டு டூ வித் உபாகர்மா. திஸ் இஸ் அ ஸ்டாண்ட் அலோன் கர்மா. ஸோ இட் இஸ் அ வெரி வெரி இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் பிராயஷ்சித்த கர்மா. வை? பிகாஸ் இன் தி சங்கல்பா இட் சேஸ், அஸ்யாம் பிரதமாயாம் சுபதிதௌ மித்யாதீத தோஷ பிராயஷ்சித்தார்த்தம் தோஷவத்சு அபதனீய பிராயஷ்சித்தார்த்தம் சம்வத்சர பிராயஷ்சித்தார்த்தம் அப்படின்னு தான் சொல்றோம். வாட் எவர் பாபம் தட் வி ஹவ் டன் ஆன் தட் இயர், ஃபார் கெட்டிங் ரிட் ஆஃப் தோஸ் பாபம், டு டூ பிராயஷ்சித்தம் ஃபார் தோஸ் பாபம், I do Gayatri Japam. In fact, actually, Shastra says everybody has to do Gayatri Homam. நம்ம தலாவணி ஆவட்டத்துக்கு காயத்ரி ஹோமம் பண்றது. we think that we have to do only Gayatri Homam for the பிரதம ஸ்ராவணம். தலாவணி ஆவட்டம் இருந்ததுன்னா காயத்ரி ஹோமமா பண்றதுன்னு வச்சுட்டு இருக்கோம். கல்யாணம் ஆயிடுச்சுன்னா காயத்ரி ஹோமம் பண்ணவே கூடாதுன்னு நிறைய பேர் சொல்றா. It is wrong according to Shastra, because according to Apastamba Sutra, it is present in Apastamba Sutra. So yadva satyam shaktau samidahutim kuryat அப்படின்னா சொல்லியிருக்கு. So you have to do Gayatri Homam if possible. If you cannot do Gayatri Homam, you can do Gayatri Japam. Gayatri Japam is a second paksha. You have to do Gayatri Homam. For what? Samvatsara Prayashchittartham. For all the papams that I have done in the previous year, I do Gayatri Homam. அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு தான் சாவித்ரீம் சமிதமாதாசியே அப்படிங்கிறது தான் சங்கல்பம். I do Samidha Madase. Samidha Madasena Samith எடுத்து வைக்கிறேன். சாவித்ரி சொல்லி Samith எடுத்து வைக்கிறேன் அப்படின்னு தான் சங்கல்பம் பண்ணிக்கணும். But since not everybody can do Gayatri Homam in these days, we do Ashtotra Sahasra Sankhya Gayatri Japam Karishye அப்படின்னு Gayatri Japatha நம்ம எடுத்துக்கிறோம். So even here you have to do 1008. 108 Gayatri Japamla not allowed in Shastra. It has to be 1008 times Gayatri Japam. Gayatri Japam itself is second Paksha, and we have to do 1008. That is what Shastra says. So, this is for entire year we are doing Prayaschittam. We can, it takes about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. It takes to do proper Gayatri Japam. It is okay. We can watch movies. We can watch games for that much time. We can stand in queue. Boxing Day, we can stand in queue for 2 hours, 3 hours altogether, buy tickets. We can do 3 hours, 2.5 hours. It does not take much time. 2.5 hours, 2 hours to 2.5 hours. It takes time. So we have to do Gayatri Japam. So while doing Gayatri Japam, the important part is we cannot just close our eyes. We cannot do that. The Gayatri mantra has to be split in 5 places. Panchabhinna. 5 places it has to be split. Om. Bhurbhuvasvaha. Tatsavituhu. Bhargo devasya. Thiyo yonaha. So, the mari 5 vidamaha pirich. So you have to be, I'm not chanting the entire mantra because Gayatri mantra should not be chanted out loud. I'm just telling the first word in each line. Om, it has to be chanted separately. Bhurbhuvasvaha, chanted separately. Tatsavituhu, Bhargo devasya, Thiyo yonaha. So all these 5 parts, this is how we should chant Gayatri even while doing Sandhya Vandanam. For doing Gayatri Japam as well, this is how we should chant Gayatri. Shastra says if you chant Om Bhurbhuvasvaha, you won't hear what you say. Nearby person, he does not know what you are saying. Even Bhagavan will not understand what you say if we just chant in one sentence completely. Shastra says, Devi Bhagavatam says, if you don't split Gayatri in these 5 times, it is Papam ne Devi Bhagavatatla sollirukku. So we have to be very, very careful. And Gayatri Japam Pandracheyum, we cannot just keep on chanting Gayatri mantra from the beginning. You have to do Pranavasya Rishibram. You have to do all these nyasas. Pranavasya Rishibram, Devi, Gayatri, Chandaha, Paramatma, Devata, Abramburaji, Sapte Vyagartinam. You have to do Pranayamam. And then Ayatiti Anuvagasya Vamadeva Rishi. You have to do Ayatu Varata Devi. You have to do. And then if you know the Anganyasam, Karanyasam of Gayatri mantra, you have to do Anganyasam, Karanyasam of Gayatri mantra. And then you have to do the Gayatri mantra Japam. And then after finishing Gayatri mantra Japam, 1008 times, you have to do Uttame Shikare Devi Bhumyam Parvatamurdan. You have to do that Upasthanam. And after that Upasthanam only, the Gayatri Japam is complete. So however you do in Sandhya Vandanam, you have to follow the same procedure from Pranavasya Rishi Brahma up until Uttame Shikare Devi. This is if you are doing Japam. Okay, I am doing Gayatri Homam. How do I do? If you are doing Gayatri Homam, for Gayatri Mantram, you should not chant Swaha. This is the wrong thing that people do these days. I don't know where they got it from, but you should not say Swaha for Gayatri Mantram. Swaha Karam Kidayadu. Just say Gayatri Mantram. People, you take a samit, dip it in ghee or dip it in milk. You can either dip it in ghee or you can either dip the samit in milk and then you have to do ahuti. So no Swaha Karam for Gayatri Mantra in this Gayatri Homam. So do not do Swaha if you want to do Gayatri Homam. It has to be done without the Swaha Kara. So after you do Gayatri Japam, and then, so even before doing Gayatri Japam, you cannot eat anything. At the same time, you cannot say, I'm going to wake up in Brahma Muhurtam and do Gayatri Japam. This Gayatri Japam, any Japam should not be done at that time. Only after Suryodayam, only after doing Sandhya Vandanam. So again, for doing Gayatri Japam, wake up early in the morning, do Snanam, do Sandhya Vandanam. That is very, very important. You have to do Sandhya Vandanam separately from Gayatri Japam. Some people will do Sandhya Vandana Todiye Ayarathittu Gayatri. You cannot do that way. Sandhya Vandanam is different. Gayatri Japam is different. You know, the Gayatri Japam in Sandhya Vandanam is different. This Gayatri Japam is different because Sankalpam is different. You have two different Sankalpas. So first you have to do Sandhya Vandanam and the Gayatri Japam as a part of Sandhya Vandanam. And then only you have to start this Gayatri Japam. You know, people say, சிஷ்டாலாம் ஒரு 9 மணி 8 மணி 9 மணிக்கு தான் இந்த காயத்ரி ஜபத்தை ஆரம்பிப்பான். அதுக்கு முன்னாடி ஆரம்பிக்கிறதுங்கிறது வழக்கத்துல இல்ல. But if we have to go to office, we can start it early as well. But the proper time is about 8 o'clock. அந்த சமயத்துல தான் இந்த காயத்ரி ஜபம் பண்ணி, before காயத்ரி ஜபம், do not eat anything because we cannot even eat the day before காயத்ரி ஜபம். On the day of காயத்ரி ஜபம், if you can do without eating anything, that is well and good. But if you cannot, you can have some milk or kanchi, any satvika ahara we can have, and then we can do Gayatri Japam, and then do Kayena Vacha, and then we can carry ahead with the rest of our lives. So this Upakarma, it is a very, very important karma. Now we know the meaning because Shastra says once you do any karma with the knowledge of meaning, Viryavattaram bhavati. Vedas themselves say, Upanishad says, I think it comes in Chandogya Upanishad, Viryavattaram bhavati. Upanishadaya, Shraddaya, Upanishadaya, if you do any karma, it has more phalan. It gives you more benefit, says Chandogya Upanishad. So now we know, at least we know the overall meaning. Why we do this, how properly we should do this. Now we know, and then if we do Upakarma, we can enjoy the benefits that has been requested in the Sankalpam of the respective procedures, respective karma. With this, we will finish today's session on auspicious days in Sanatana Dharma. We are not going to see whatever that happens in Adi Masam because now itself is 1203. So we will see about all other auspicious days in this month in the next time. For now, Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate Om Shanti 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 Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.